So, all right, Friday night, which means Ohio State preview. This is pretty much going to be our thing now, I guess. But what is going on, everybody? As you can see, wearing my 2014 Buckeyes Sugar Bowl championship, or I guess Sugar Bowl victory T-shirt. Technically, we won. We're the champions of the Sugar Bowl that year. Dude says first. You might be the only one commenting, so yeah, not much of a flex. Wait, what happened? Oh, it's just someone freaking tweeting. Okay. Wow. All right. But yeah, it's real quick. It is Friday night. Ohio State plays tomorrow at noon. Early start. At least I don't have to wait all day. That's great. There was a little bit of pain to watching my team or having to wait until my team plays. I always hate that. But yeah, playing Maryland, Buckeyes had trouble last year with this team. Well, Tice, we didn't play them last year. The game got canceled. And the year before that, we stomped the crap out of them. So, yeah. But you look at the history between these two teams, and you look at the history of Maryland football in general. They've been, I guess, what you'd say is kind of a mediocre-ish team for the most part. Let me look up let me pull up the football history real quick here. Gotta showcase that thang real quick. Talk about how they've done. So they've actually been in the Big Ten since 2014. Buckeyes never played them before then. Randy Edsall was their coach. They had Edsall and then Mike Loxley, who actually is their coach now. DJ Durkin was the coach for 2 seasons. Matt Canada, the current Steelers offensive coordinator, coached for the Terps in 2018. They went 5-7 that year. And then they brought back Mike Loxley in 2019. And he's posted a 3-9, a 2-3, and a 4-1 record so far. Granted, this might be the best team they've had in a while, but they made a bowl game last in 2016. Their 3rd year in the Big Ten, went to the Quick Lane Bowl. They lost. And the crazy thing is, they only need 2 more victories to get to a bowl game. They were 1 win away from a bowl game in 2018, but they couldn't get the job done. They've lost the last 3 bowl games as well. The last win came in 2010 with Ralph Friedgen as their coach, and they went 9-4, won the Military Bowl. Of course, they were in the ACC for the longest time. They were in the ACC from 1952. I'm sorry, 53. They were independent for a year after leaving the Southern Conference. They were independent for a year in 52. Then they went to the ACC from 1953 all the way up until 2013. So what's that, 60 years? Damn. And then they decided to jump over to be with the big boys. And I believe they were like the one of the newer teams next to Rutgers to join in. In fact, let me pull up that history real quick for those who don't really know how it goes down, football history. They've never won a conference title. They're one of the few teams that have never even been to the conference championship game because they've only been in the conference for a couple years. But yeah, in terms of the prime members of the conference, Indiana, the team up north, Sparty, they were in 1950. Of course, Ohio State, 1912. Up until 2011, you had Nebraska joining in from the Big 12. And then, let me see here. Where the heck is Maryland at? Oh, here they are. Yeah, 2014. They jumped in as well as Rutgers. They came in at the same time. So really for 3 years, Nebraska was the newest member. And of course, before then, it was Penn State, 1990. So, yeah. Everyone else had been in the conference for well over about 100 years or so. And then, Nebraska jumped over, and then Rutgers and Maryland jumped over. And the craziest thing is, Nebraska has been to a Big Ten title game. I know I'm kind of going through like a little Big Ten history, but some of you just genuinely do not, don't know your, conference history. Maybe you never knew this. I mean, you look, since they've had a championship game. In fact, let's take a look and see the matchups. Championship game history. Look at this. I'm freaking talking about Big Ten championship game history. Wow. I'll get to the game here in a second, but a lot of people may not know this. 2011, it was the Legends versus the Leaders division. Sparty faced Wisconsin. Nebraska made it, faced Wisconsin. Lost, Wisconsin was dominating those years. That's when, of course, Russell Wilson, I think, had just left. Of course, they had Melvin Gordon, too. Remember him? Yeah. They had some really good teams. They've had some dominant teams. This team that they have this year might be the worst one they've had in a while. But yeah, Ohio State made the championship game for the first time in 2013, lost to Sparty. The year after, in 2014, go down and win it all. Cardale Jones and the Buckeyes slaughter Wisconsin. And then Sparty comes back in 15, beats Iowa. 2016, PSU takes down Wisconsin. Buckeyes beat Wisconsin again. And Ohio State's won the last 4 Big Ten title games. We're 5-1 in the Big Ten title game. Nebraska, Iowa are 0-1. Penn State's 1-0 in 2016. So Sparty's 2-1. Poor Northwestern's 0-2. And they're both against us. And the really crazy thing is, now that we're starting to get in the Big Ten play, now we're going to start seeing the powerhouse teams start, rising to the top. Like, now, one more thing here. And of course, Maryland, Indiana, Illinois, and all that, Minnesota. Well, Minnesota's never been there. Could this be the year we actually have some new contestants in the Big Ten title game? Right now, again, it's very early. A lot has yet to happen. But you look at overall, the team up north leads. They're 2-0 in the conference. 4-0 at home, 1-0 away overall. They're 5-0. So if it ended today, it would be the team up north finally making a Big Ten Bowl championship game facing Iowa. Now, could you just imagine that real quick? Now, Penn State's there. We're right there. Sparty's right there. Yes, even Maryland is right there. I guess you could even say Rutgers, but they're 0-2 in the conference. And Indiana, yeah, they're not very good this year. Out west, it's usual suspects. Iowa, Wisconsin sucks, though. So we might have a new contestant in the west, especially because the two usual suspects, Northwestern and Wisconsin, the last couple of years, they're not very good. And unless they get their act together, we might have a new contestant. Maybe Minnesota decides to finally make the bowl game for the first time, the championship game for the first time, I think, ever. But it's going to be fun. But let's talk more about this game against Maryland. Now, last year, the Terps went, 2-3. Only played in 5 games. They had a game against us, team up north, and Sparty, all canceled. They had their season open up with a 43-3 drubbing at the hands of Northwestern. That's tough. You hate to see that. Yep. I remember that game. Anthony McFarland. dude went off against us. That was when we had Shiano as our freaking defensive coordinator. Yep. I remember it like it was yesterday. Dude like ran all over us. And then after getting drubbed by Northwestern, Maryland rebounded and beat Minnesota 45-44. They then came back and beat Penn State 35-19. They had our game canceled, had a bye week, so they had 2 weeks to prepare essentially for Indiana. And they lost 27-11. Yeah. Then they would get canceled against the team up north. They'd come back, lose to Rutgers by 3 in overtime. Yikes. And then their final game of the year was canceled. So their final game of the year was actually against Rutgers. That's tough. That is just tough. And, of course, no bowl game because they didn't, win the amount of games that they needed. And then so far this season, let's see how they've done. They've had a pretty good year thus far. They went 4-1, beating West Virginia by 6, smacking Howard, which Howard's a freaking what? Something like that. It's whatever. Like, ooh, yeah, here's a free win. They won 62-0 there. They barely beat Illinois 20-17. They beat Kent State 37-16. And then Taulia goes on the FS1 and throws 6 interceptions against Iowa. They lose 51-14. Yikes. And now you're playing Ohio State, who has, I guess, hopefully, maybe, possibly got their swagger back. Because these last 2 weeks, ever since they made Matt Barnes, I guess, the defensive coordinator, the play caller on defense, the defense has had a whole new attitude. And I've noticed they're playing a lot of the younger guys, the true freshmen. They're good players. I know the seniors and stuff, they're getting their playing time, but they're playing a lot of the younger guys. These guys are very, very good. We had freaking Denzel Burke have a freaking pick 6 last week. Defense is flying all over the field, making plays. Tyreek Williams is eating people. Of course, you got Haskell the Rascal still out there balling like a madman. This is going to be a good game. It ain't going to be easy for old Taulia. And for those who are wondering, yes, he is the brother of Tua. That is his brother. Yeah. They used to go to Bama together. Taulia wasn't going to be sitting behind his brother. So he's like, I'm out of here. I'm going to go to Maryland. I think it was like Maryland and maybe a couple of, there was a couple other teams in the running for him. Maryland was also in the running for a recruit, Caleb Williams, I believe his name was. He was looking at Oklahoma and Maryland, and I think LSU. And Maryland's like, we'll just get Taulia. Oklahoma can have Caleb Williams. We'll take Taulia. Of course, we know what Ohio State has at quarterback. We have C.J. Stroud, and damn. From the looks of things, I think he just needed a week off because that dude looked fire last week. Passes were on the money. They weren't sailing, they were perfect. It's like, damn. It was a week off? Wow. Should have did that from the beginning. We probably would have beaten Oregon. Legit. If they give him that week off against Minnesota, if they had McCord start because of his injury or whatever, because the shoulder was bothering him, we might beat Oregon. And we're not sitting here like this, He doesn't sail all those passes and all that garbage. We probably beat Tulsa by a lot more than what we did. But, alas, he wanted to try to play through it. It was affecting him. And Ryan Day finally said, you know what, CJ? You ain't right. We're going to sit you this week against Akron. They're a bum team. No worries. You will be an emergency just in case. But, we're going to have you rest that shoulder for a week and see how it goes. And look what happened. My dude went off. Now, Rutgers ain't no slack. But my God, that dude was on the money. Do I even need to go through his stats from last week? Because I will. In fact, let's do that right now. Let's go through his stats from last week because people may be thinking, relax, dude. He ain't that great. He balled out. But again, the haters, Uh-oh. Oh, damn. Chris Bryant, dinger off of Bueller. Dude, I think that just gave Dodgers fans PTSD from 2016. That's tough. I know Rocha's probably freaking out in his stream right now. He's probably going, it's God, Chris Bryant. And Isaiah's probably like just sulking. That's tough, man. But hey, love to see it. Brian Anderson on the call over there. But let's take a look at CJ Stroud's stats from last week against Butker last week. Because, like I said, it seems like all he needed was a little, week off. That's all they needed. The dude literally went out and threw for 330 yards last week. 330 yards. But crazy dog, that's nothing. 15 of 23 for 330 yards, 5 tutties, no picks, and a 99.3 QBR. But then again, the haters are going to see that and go, well, those receivers are always open. But, I mean, that's what's so cool about being CJ Stroud. Your receivers are that damn good. Now, Justin Fields has to adjust to the fact that, he's not playing a Rutgers or a bad team like that anymore. He's got to adjust. And I'm sure defenses are going to adjust to CJ Stroud. But regardless, I think CJ Stroud's hopefully good to go. But yeah, that was awesome to see last week. He was on point. You love to see it. 5 tutties though. And then Cal McCord came in there, didn't do anything, which he didn't really need to do anything. But yeah, let's take a look at Maryland's squad real quick here before I head on out of here. So, of course, their quarterback is Taulia. We already know about him. The running backs are Tayon Fleet-Davis, Penny Boone, and Isaiah Jacobs. Okay. Tight ends, you have Chigoziem Okonkwo, Corey Dyches, Spencer Anderson. Okay, that's the right tackle. So Corey Dyches and Chigoziem Okonkwo, that's their tight ends. All right. The receiving core, Daryl Jones, Carlos Carrier, Jashawn Jones, Brian Cobbs, Raheem Jarrett, Marcus Fleming. They actually had a receiver get hurt last week. Cannot remember his name, but he got hurt. Really ugly injury. Like his legs, like he was trying to do the splits, and his legs like bent outwards from the knee down. Like, ouch. And then offensive line, you have Jalen Duncan, Mason Lunsford, Eric Harris, Johari Branch, and Spencer Anderson. Yeah, Dante Demus. That's the receiver that got hurt. That was an ugly injury. Ew. Hope he's all right, though. He's probably going to be out for the year with that. The dude, and then the thing is, he was on the cart, and he said, I'll be back. And the freaking doctor or the trainer that was driving with him, she's like, ha, no, you're not. Nah. No, on defense, the Terps are running out Sam Okwaninu. Wait, Okwainionu. Wow, that's a crazy name. My God, what is with these teams and these crazy names? Love it, but damn. Amy Finau, Mosiah Nasili Kite, Durrell Nchami. That's okay. So then there are linebackers, Nchami, Ruben Hippolyte II, Jeremy Spraggins. Oh, that's the wackiest name, freaking spelling of Jeremy I've ever seen. Greme. What? I've never seen that before, but okay. Deshaun Holt, and then their corners, the secondary are Tarheeb Still, Nick Cross, Jordan Mosley, Jacorian Bennett, and Isaiah Hazel. Punter is Anthony Pecorella. Joseph Petrino is their kicker and their kickoff guy. Jake Frogia is a long snapper. Colton Spangler is their holder. Tarheeb Still and Raheem Jarrett handle returns. So it's going to be a fun matchup. I think we get the dub. I think this defense is balling right now. They got the swagger back, which is awesome news for us, bad news for the opponent. But we'll see how it goes. And I'll be live tomorrow for Ohio State, Maryland. And then after that, we're going to chill and then get ready for Sunday. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to head on out of here. Hope you guys have a great rest of your night. And I'll see you tomorrow. I'm Crazy Dog. Let's go, Bucks. And I'm out.